Ìbàdàn ni mí, ọmọ Olúyọ̀lé o. Ìbàdàn ni mí, ọmọ Àjọrọ̀sùn. You can see it on my face, and the blood run through my veins. If you tell me, say you come from Ibadan.
So my first question is, what was growing up like for you? Just share briefly your good, bad experiences while growing up.
I went to Ibadan Grammar School, Ibadan. To go to a secondary school those days, unlike now, after doing my, what you call Cambridge, we used to do Cambridge. If you go to pass your Cambridge in a secondary school of repute, it's automatic job in the ministry. Unlike you now, they will come and interview us in the school. But I will say that I was lucky. Lucky in the sense that I have a mother. My mother is very industrious. I have an uncle. He was a lawyer. He was not the first set, among the first set of lawyers we had in Nigeria. He was working at he was the secretary of the local government, Ibadan local government. After leaving, those days it was 2 o'clock or 2 or 3 o'clock. That's when you end in the secretariat. As a young man, he usually come to see his father, which is next door to my house too, my granny's house. We are so much facilitated with his wig as a lawyer. When she grew up to see the father, we putting the wig in her head. Okay, yes, I'll be a wig, I will be a lawyer. Invariably, I will come home, I will tell my mother, I want to be a lawyer, like lawyer Adebayo. But my mother will always insist, if you want to be like a lawyer, it means you are going to England. So I always say, yes, I want to go to England. But only one condition, that you pass your Alayande's house. Alayande was the principal of Ibadan Grammar School those days. It was so popular. On condition you pass your Cambridge school certificate exam. So I believe that was a challenge to me. You know, like all young boys, We have girlfriends. We have. There's nothing like Jackpot those days, but we have the ambition. We all just want to go to England. Unfortunately, for me, University of Ibadan is not offering law. When the University of Ibadan was established, there was no law. So majority of us who are lawyers, we always move to England. I always give thanks to my mother. Why? I didn't know that she had been saving up. I'm the only son. I have other sisters, but I'm the only son. So she has always been looking for, my son must be a lawyer. And she had been saving up all her savings, going to England. So I told my mother that December 19 what? You don't know. I finished Ibadan Grammar School, and the same day we have to move to Lagos to go and join the boat, because we go to England. Eh? Through the boat. We don't have too many. We're always very scared of aircraft, because there was an incident of an Oba, a popular Oba in Western region. He was coming from England. There was a crash. For years, Egbe ti gbé lọ. Egbe. In a crash, kò sí Egbe nínú crash. But it was rumored pé Egbe ló gbé. Anyway, I left for England. The second day I left Ibadan Grammar School, I went to England. By boat, kí ni ó kọ boat wa Elder Dempster. That's the only boat coming to Nigeria. Elder Dempster. So it takes us how many days to get to England? Through Lagos, Accra, Sierra Leone, that West Coast here, that might cross over to England. It was an interesting job, interesting journey. All the young girls in the boat, they were crying. You know where it was very funny in the sense, okay? All the girls, When the ship is about to move, their parents will be crying. Sisters, mother, you are going on a boat for 14 days. But to me, I didn't cry. Instead, all the girls with me, Nagurani, I would tell it was a very interesting. Anyway, later in the years, by the time I come back as a lawyer and making some money, I've gone now on cruising the Bahamas, cruising all over the place. Anyway, that was the beginning of I have a wonderful beginning. I will say one thing. By the time I got to England, I became a changed man. I faced more of my studies than when I was in Nigeria with all the girlfriends. You couldn't believe me. It was I always wonder, what changed me? Is it I'm not back in Nigeria, or my parents those days wọ́n ti lọ ṣe jùjú wípé because those people some of us who went to England, they didn't come back. I've told you, coming back from London, I studied law in England. If you're a lawyer, depending on the type of lawyer you want to be, law gives you a lot of variation in life, what you want to become. Not just going to court, or you want to be advocate. Advocacy is the one going to court. You can be a solicitor doing chamber work. By the time I came back as a lawyer in those days, there are very few lawyers in the whole country. We are part of the first set that started the law school. We are the first set. After leaving the law school, then you can decide what you want to be. A lawyer, advocate, going to court, join the civil service. You join the civil service, you become those are the people we call the Attorney General. civil service, you grow up the ladder. Up to the end, you can become a judge. But again, if you don't want to go to the civil service, it means then the opportunities are plenty. Unlike you these days. In fairness, it was Awolowo who created that indigenization decree, which means all the companies before independence, the Indians, the Lebanese, the everything, the Lebanese, you find the Lebanese at the marketplace. I want Tajo, I want Chebugwe. When the indigenization decree came up, we the lawyers, we took advantage. And mostly the Yorubas. Fortunately, there's a war in the Eastern Bloc. Gbogbo àwọn Igbo wọ́n ti lọ lù wọ́n. The Hausas wọn ò ní education tó àwa ní. So it's a full day to the Yorubas. In fact, they always accuse wípé Awolowo also selfish nítorí nígbà tí Awolowo did become the Federal Minister of Finance ló ti jẹ́ kí gbogbo àwọn Yorùbá kó take advantage. But it's not that. Our the Yorubas are the most Let me tell you, I became a lawyer by 24 when I came back. 24 years old, as a young man, I almost lost my head being a lawyer, walking on the street, being a lawyer. Had they arrived? Oh, yes. How many lawyers? Very few. Until the crisis came again. However, so there were a lot of opportunities. Indigenization decree was the first step for we lawyers. We took advantage of that. As I told you, Western region with Awolowo, gbogbo Ìkẹjà yẹn, ṣé mọ̀ pé Western region ló ní? All the Ìkẹjà, all to Ìkẹjà boundary is Ibadan, is Housing Corporation Ibadan, long control all those areas. Anyway, that's another story. So, if one is smart, I thank God. How many radio stations do we have then? We have only one for the government. Ìgbà wo ni I was talking about it sometime. Pé ìgbà wo mo dá radio station lẹ̀. It's going to about 16, 17 years. I was about the first one in Ibadan. First private. We have the BCOS, but that's government. But the first independent radio station. Anyway, that's about that.
Do you have any biggest regrets in life?
I want to become the governor. Then I went to politics. Akinloye was the chairman of the party. Somebody was saying the same story. But I lost Ramadan.
Yes.
Life is not so easy. All the politicians Yoruba, I was thinking I will win the primary. Akinloye then, because whether backed by Chief Akinloye, then the chairman of the party, in those days we win. Anyway, Akinloye is now dead. Akinloye Tiku now. And suddenly the pendulum changed. And that day I packed all my bag and baggages. I went back to Lagos. I'm no more in politics. No more. Mm-hmm. My happiest day. By the time I came here as a young lawyer, you know that I was quite happy. My daughter, my first daughter, Mr. Joji, was getting married. So I'm thinking, I'm not a big boy too. I was quite happy.
Have you ever anchored a radio program before? Like, did you anchor any? No. Do you love radio?
I love radio in the sense that I know that I'm contributing to the society. By the time I established radio, I know the importance, but I believe you pay the problems are there in radio. The government will I know I stepped on the top of some politicians in this country. They dealt with me properly. And that's that, but I survived. When I started radio station, 1 or 2 radio stations, now we have about 30-something radio stations in Ibadan now. About 30, going to 40. If I call my GM with me. We tell you. So, I enjoy it. I believe I've contributed to the society, and I've moved on again. I've joined to other things in life. You thank God. You want always pray and say that. Beginning. One can get me. Yes. We still have something in the pipeline. We always hope and pray. That's all what one can do. We just don't think there are so many challenges in life. It depends on the individual.